1, 2, 3, 4, get my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great. 9, gonna shine, life is good. I'm doing fine. 10, gonna do it right and do it again, yeah. I look into the sky with all the beautiful color, but there's more than just for me, so gonna share it with another. I got to show, to give, let out. I want to sing and shout. Take a look and see a beautiful morning that turns into a beautiful evening, and together make a beautiful life. And if you wanna see, then come along with me, that's right.
Welcome to Experience Michiana. I'm the show's producer, Kelsey Zumrin. Thank you so much for being with us as we get out and explore some of the activities and festivals that are happening this weekend in the Michiana area. We're going to head to Plymouth to find out about the Latino Festival that's taking place this weekend, where there will be lots of authentic food and music, a lot of things going on there in Plymouth. Then we're going to head to Nappanee to find out about the Apple Festival, which actually kicked off today and is going to go through the end of the weekend. But first, Kelly is down in Rochester, where she's finding out about the Living History Festival called the Trail of Courage, and you want to be sure to check this out too.
On September 17th and 18th, you can come with your family and experience the Fulton County Historical Society's Trail of Courage. Now, Melinda, thank you so much for being with us today. As you can see, we're on the grounds here. Now, the grounds are right off of 31?
Yes, we're 4 miles north of Rochester on US 31.
Okay, so you may hear a little traffic passing by, but this is going to be a really fun event, and it's called the Trail of Courage.
Yes.
Now, Melinda, I've heard of the Trail of Tears. What's the difference?
Our festival is called the Trail of Courage because of the courage of the Indians before they were removed from this area on what was called the Trail of Death, which was the Potawatomi removal, which happened the same time as the Trail of Tears for the Cherokee. And so we did the festival with the Trail of Courage to commemorate that time period.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, this has started in 1976?
Yes, 1976 in a farm field. Few little camps and whatever to grow into what it is today of, 100, 150 camps and programs and things that go on both days, all day long, and we usually have 13,000 plus people here for the weekend. So,
what was the impetus to begin this kind of event?
Just to keep that history alive here for our county history. The Potawatomi, like I said, were removed from this area in 1838. We have families who come back each year that we try to commemorate that were descended, taken away on the removal. But we're trying to show the time period when they were all here together, working together.
Now, as I said, we are on the grounds here. How many acres are we on?
The museum owns 35 acres. We're a mile long, 300 foot wide, right along US 31. And we purchased this property in 1985 and have done a lot of cleanup and done different things to make it an improvement for the festivals, and we do different things all year long.
Now, it is going to be a lot of fun for the families, but it's also important that we know the truth about this history.
Exactly. We have school kids who come on Fridays. Right now we're at 600 plus kids, and they come in and they'll have special places to go that people will be teaching. We have historic arts like blacksmithing and tinsmithing, petersmith, basket making, things that are no longer on the forefront of everybody making these things, but these people are still actually teaching. We're wanting the 4th grade kids to understand the Indiana history. They finally got a lot of this into the history books about the Potawatomi removal. For years it was not there. The programming goes from Indian dances. We have Aztec dancers who come. We have programs, Mark and Liza Wolliver from Plymouth come and do, she plays fiddle, and they do multiple instruments. There's several different people like that. There's bagpipers, fife and drum corps.
Wow, that's a lot of volunteers.
Well, part of these are covered by the Indiana Arts Commission grant, some of the programming, and then volunteers then come in to do the local food booths. We have 12 food booths, I believe, this year. Everything's cooked over wood fires. A lot of them are local nonprofits that are running these booths to help support different community projects, so we support that too.
That's great. Now tell us a little bit more about the history. So did the Trail of Tears come through this area?
The Trail of Tears did not, but the Trail of Death did. Like I said, the Potawatomi, they started in Marshall County up at Chief Menominee statue, rounded them up, Chief Menominee included, even though they took him in a jail wagon. He had been to Washington and talked to the president at the time saying that, you're not going to have to move, and then like other Potawatomis from Michigan area or whatever signed these treaties. So they rounded everybody up and took them clear to Osawatomie, Kansas. And there were 700 and some that went on the route. Father Pettit from Notre Dame was a priest that went with them. He died along the way, and they brought him back, and he's at Notre Dame underneath one of the cabins or somewhere up in there. But there's a lot of that history that wouldn't have been known if it hadn't been for the festival like this to make people aware.
Absolutely. Now, you also honor a family each year.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit more about that?
We've done several different families. This year, our honored family is the Bergeron, I believe, family name. The young lady is coming from Washington State, and she will also be our head Indian woman dancer here at the festival. She has a relative whose name is George Godfrey, who is president of our local Potawatomi Trail of Death Association. He lives in Illinois, but he is a cousin or something, somehow related. And every 5 years they retrace this route clear to Kansas, and have been doing that since 1988. So we've had his family, we've had the Wamigos, we've had Chief Menominee's family, we've had several of the people that were actually on the actual removal. That's why we had the honored families.
That's wonderful. Now, I see here that you have done a wonderful job of taking us back in time. Can you share what this is here? Because it looks like kind of that American frontier, and their families just kind of, put up a tent.
Yes, they would have had a tent to put up. They cook all their foods over wood fires. The historic lamps, the historic tents. Everybody would be dressed in historic outfit this weekend, taking you back. So once you get past the admissions booth, it really is like stepping back in time, even though we do hear the road noise. If you're in the mindset, you really don't hear it after so long. I've lived out here long enough that I don't hear it anymore. But there's always a different feeling when you're back here with the festival, and just the atmosphere is just totally different.
Now you have a lot of tents. You're going to have people coming in re-showing history. How long does it take you to set this up?
We, as a historic society, start cleaning up, about a month or so ago. The individual people bring in tents. Sometimes it takes them a couple hours to get all their set up, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, depending. The merchants, the ones in the big tents, it takes them several hours, because we have a gentleman who comes from Michigan that sells leather and coonskin caps and furs and whatever. That takes him several.
They sell them here?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And then, like I said, the food booth vendors, they're out here working 2 or 3 days ahead of time, getting ready, and then getting the food prepared and whatever. So.
And while they're here doing all of that, they're also passing down storytelling and the history to the families and the children that are here.
Right. Yeah, there's all kinds of history that's being taught. If the kids sit and listen, they're going to learn something. And they're fascinated with coming out to see all the different atmospheres and from the French and Indian wartime period, the Revolutionary wartime period, the Native Americans being here, it just is a big span of people to learn from for the weekend.
You mentioned the Aztec Dancers. I love dancing. Can you tell us a little bit more about them?
The Aztec Dancers are different ones from northern Indiana and in Chicago area that come. They dress in these fanciful outfits and do dances both days on the stages, and they also have a booth where they sell stuff too. But they started coming, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or better. They're a big drawer of people. They get going with the drums and stuff, and it's something to draw people. The more louder the music is, the better off you are.
Absolutely, and people can participate in the dance as well.
Yes, and then we go from that to Indian dances, which is a little bit different. They have the honored families, people, and the head dancers, and then other people can join in the intertribal dances. So that means the public can get out there and help dance. The drum is an actually all women's drum.
Nice.
That'll be playing, and so we have them every afternoon from 2 to 3, and then we have animal rehabilitation people who come and give programs. On Saturday, Kim Hoover from Star City, her business is called Who's to House, and she rehabs all kinds of different animals. And then Soaring Hawk out of Fort Wayne will be here on Sunday, and they also do a lot of different animals. So
that is fantastic. So it's September 17th and 18th. Right. What are the hours?
Saturday's 10 to 6, Sunday is 10 to 4. Admission is $8 for adults, and $3 for kids ages 6 to 11, 5 and under is free.
Okay, and now is parking on the grounds?
Yes, we have a big field here, and we have tractors that will give you a ride down because the property is a mile long.
Okay.
So you're going to want to ride, and those are free. And we invite you to come, and we do not allow animals unless they're service animals. And so that's a big thing to know. And unfortunately, we don't have an ATM here, so be sure and bring cash.
That's right, and you know, it's a good thing you said that because I feel like people just don't carry cash
They do
anymore.
not.
Melinda, this is a huge endeavor.
Yes.
And so why does the Historical Society decide to put this event on? And also, what are some of the other events they participate in?
This is one of the biggest events that the museum does for the year, our biggest fundraiser. We are not county funded, so everything that we do here at the museum helps support. We have a building and then a round barn and a living history village, and to support besides, you know, just having these festivals. We do a Red Bud in the spring, we have a tractor show in June, and then the Trail of Courage in September, and we do a Haunted Woods next month in October.
We'll have to come back for that one.
Yes. And anyway, it all just goes to support, and our mission is to teach history, and that's how we keep history alive, by doing these festivals and as part of our mission.
Now I have to ask this last question: rain or shine, what's going to happen?
If rain or shine, we go on. A lot of times at Trail, we usually don't have as much rain. Out of the 46 years that we've been in existence, we've had rain 4 or 5 times on this actual weekend. We have another festival in the spring called the Red Bud, and it seems to rain every year.
Oh my gosh.
So, you know, but just difference in time periods and weather. So this weekend sounds like it's going to be nice, so hopefully it will stay that way.
I hope so. Well, Melinda, thank you so much, and thank you for all that you do to, you know, to share and retain the history. It's so important. So come on out September 17th and 18th, bring the family. You all are going to really enjoy the experience of history, lots of food, and lots of fun.
Hola! Today we are checking out an awesome thing that's happening in the community here in Plymouth, Indiana, the Plymouth Latino Festival, and I have with us Laura, who's going to share with us a bit about what this event is. This isn't the first year this has happened here in Plymouth either.
No, this isn't. This is kind of an event that was huge in Plymouth, and then it went away for about 7 years, and then 6 years ago we brought it back.
Okay.
So due to COVID, this is our 5th event done by the city of Plymouth. Before, a group called Heart and Hands, they were in charge of the Latino Festival, and it was a great event. It was in our amphitheater, and then Heart and Hands dissolved, and the festival went away. And 6 years ago, the mayor was like, we need to bring that back. And so we brought it back and brought it to River Park Square, which is our downtown park.
Okay, and that's where it's happening this year too?
That's right.
Okay.
So we love that park. It's lots of green space, and it's just perfect for a festival.
And it's coming up this weekend.
It is. It's this Saturday. Starts at 1 o'clock, and it runs until 10 p.m.
Oh wow, that's a great festival time frame. I love when it's extended like that and it's not limited just a couple hours.
We need to be done at 10 so we can be all cleaned up and quiet again at 11 so we don't get in trouble. So
the city doesn't get in trouble with the city.
That's right. That's right.
I love it. I love it. So what kinds of things is there for people to do at the festival?
I think the number one thing that people come to the Latino Festival for is the authentic food.
Yes,
from all the different Hispanic regions, we have all kinds of different offerings. One year I made it my mission to try everything.
I love that.
And I had some things that I loved, and I had some things that were like, I don't need to eat that again.
Okay.
But that's the fun part about this festival is it's authentic. There's not, it's not like a food truck kind of food. It's more authentic. Grandma's down there making their best, and so it's always very good to be able to try different things.
So do you have local vendors who are participating then?
We do. All the vendors are local.
Okay.
And so they just, sometimes this is the only time that they sell food.
Really?
You know, they work with the health department.
You want to get Abuelos Arepas, like that's the time to get them, right?
That's right. That's right. They work with our local health department, and so that they're doing everything that they need to do, and they sell some great stuff.
That's awesome. So aside from food, which of course come hungry, it sounds like.
Yes, for sure.
What else is there to do for families?
There will also be music. Also the folkloric dancers, which is the girls with the big skirts. There's little girls all the way up to adults that perform, and that's always very cool to watch.
I bet. And do they have certain times they're performing?
They
so
will
you don't
be
want them to miss
performing
that?
right off the bat from 2 to 3.
Okay.
So if you want to get here early and watch that. We'll also have a marketplace area with things for sale, and there will also be the hospital will be here, and also a doctor's office will be here, taking blood pressures and screening blood sugars, because diabetes and high blood pressure really tend to be in that Hispanic culture community, and so we want to be able to screen for those things. So those will be at no cost.
Great.
The whole festival is at no cost except for the food. If you want to buy food, you'll need to pay for it yourself. But other than that, it's all free for the offering.
And you guys have things happening for the kids too, right?
We do. There will be bounce houses, there will be face painting, all kinds of great stuff.
That's awesome. I know my kids love that kind of stuff. So anything that they can do to stay active. And of course you have the entertainment that's going to be happening too. But really the whole basis for the Latino Festival, why is it important to this community?
This community has a very rich Hispanic culture that goes back many years. We were a community that had a lot of migrant workers that came from Texas just for agricultural reasons, and then they would go back home. Well, they decided that they liked Plymouth so much that they stayed. The city of Plymouth is 28% Hispanic in our population, and so we really want to focus on that culture, learn about that culture, because it is rich and very interesting.
Absolutely, and I believe this is Hispanic Heritage Month too.
It is. Mm-hmm.
So do you have other events happening across the community as well?
This is all that we have.
Okay, that's great. I love that you have an event that's really focused on that. Why is that important to the city to host that?
I think that we just want to be inclusive. We don't want anybody to think that, well, you don't belong here. Everybody belongs in Plymouth. We love our community, and it's a big family, and they think this is just part of showing that to everyone.
And I think for me, I grew up in the Detroit area, which was very culturized. And I think coming to an event like this for our entire community is really important for them too.
Exactly. I had someone tell me the other day that, oh, well, I'm not Hispanic, so I didn't think I could come. And that is not the case.
Yes, exactly.
Everyone is welcome at this event.
Okay. And I love that you said it's an opportunity to kind of try new things, maybe see something or experience something that you haven't done before, which is all what we do here at Experience Michiana too, right?
Right, right.
So
we appreciate that you kind of put a focus on this, and hope everybody comes down and has a good time.
That's awesome. Now, where can people get more information and all the details?
They can go to the City of Plymouth Mayor's Facebook page. Okay. There is an event there, or they can just search Latino Festival 2022, and there's also an event.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad that you guys are bringing this back again. Obviously, you took a break for the COVID time frame.
We did.
Okay, but it's coming back and going to be better than ever.
Right.
Yes, and do you have any opportunities still for any vendors to still sign up? Do you still need volunteers?
We could use some volunteers. If someone is interested, they can call me here at the mayor's office, and we can get that taken care of.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. I hope that you can join the Latino Festival here, happening in Plymouth, happening this Saturday.
Yes.
Oh, that's going to be so much fun.
Starts at 1 o'clock until 10.
All right, we'll see you there.
Right now, I'm joined by Donna, who is part of the Nappanee Apple Festival, or as I like to call it, the Napa Festival. I messed it up. I totally messed it up, Donna. I like to add Nappanee and Apple together into one word.
It's okay. We call it the Nappanee Apple Festival.
That's what I meant.
And we call it the Napple Store.
Okay. I was there last year for the first time ever, and the atmosphere was absolutely electric. It was great to see Nappanee like that.
Yeah, we brought in a lot of people last year. People enjoyed coming out and getting, being shut in for a year and a half. They really enjoyed coming out, and we had a great time, and we had great weather.
So it is more than just apples, and it's a huge festival. But for people watching who may not know anything about the Nappanee Apple Festival, just give us an overview of what goes on.
We're most famous for our 7-foot apple pie that will be baked, started on Thursday, and it'll come out of the oven on Friday morning at 7:30. And then we'll start serving it at 11 o'clock in the morning. But we have great entertainment on 3 stages. Our wow factor this year is flipping out, and it's an extreme trampoline show that will be in the library parking lot. They'll do 8 shows Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But also in the library parking lot, we will have Silly Safari and Grandpa Cratchit. So we've made that a whole kids zone area. We have a north stage at North Clark Street where we'll have a variety of entertainment, and then the main stage in the Depot Plaza, which will have entertainment all weekend.
And you mentioned all of this. When did the Nappanee Apple Festival start? Because it's been going on a long time, right?
This is our 46th year, and it started in 1975. I'm actually sitting in front of Miller's Orchard, and they are part of the founders that got the festival going. They have the orchard out back. Now, the old orchard's been all taken down, and they're in the process of replanting a whole new orchard. And so they are part of, have continued over the 46 years to be part of the Apple Festival. It used to be just one block, just on South Main Street, and it's grown to where it covers 4 square blocks on the streets and in the parking lots.
And when is it actually taking place?
The festival opens up on Thursday at 5 o'clock and closes at 9 on Thursday. We have the Queen's Scholarship Pageant that happens on Thursday night. Then we open up again Friday morning at 10 a.m. until 9. The craft and food vendors are open until 9. Entertainment's running to 9:30, 10 o'clock. Then we open up at 10 to 10 on Saturday and 11 to 5 on Sunday.
What would you say to anybody watching? Because obviously we've got viewers in Michigan, we've got viewers in South Bend and Elkhart, and a lot of people, again, may not have ever been to Nappanee. What would you kind of say to them in terms of, like, why should they go along besides all the entertainment? What's the atmosphere of the town like?
Everybody's very open. The shops, the stores downtown stay open longer. We've got a great ride company. Midway Entertainment is the ride company, same one that we have at the 4-H Fair, Elkhart County 4-H Fair. To come and see the pie, we have an apple store, as we call it. Sells everything apples. Sells this Nappanee Apple Festival T-shirt. Sells all kinds of clothes, T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, memorabilia. But we have a great parade that happens on Saturday morning. Brings in thousands and thousands of people. But we have a lot of entertainment. We have a great variety of exhibitors and food trailers. It's just a real fun, welcoming atmosphere.
Yeah, as somebody who was born in a different country, when I visit Nappanee, I feel like it's kind of what I imagined kind of small town, wholesome America to be.
Yes, it is. This community is, their slogan is embrace the pace. and it's kind of a slowed down community. It's pretty quiet, but we're real lively on the weekends, especially at our sporting events.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know it doesn't look like it's still technically summer behind you when I look up at the sky there. But the weather looks like it's going to be really nice as well. But this really is a great way to kind of kick off all those fall activities.
Yes. Yeah, and we're going to have super great weather. It's going to be sunny 2 of the days, partly cloudy 2 of the days, in the 80s. So no worry about rain. Thank you, Lord. We've gotten the rain. We needed the rain. Our farmers really needed the rain. And we have that, and we're going to have a beautiful weekend.
Absolutely. And if people want to get more information about it online, where can they go?
Nappanee Apple, they can go to the Nappanee Apple Festival website, and you can see everything that's going on. It'll have a updated shuttle information. We have shuttles you can park out at the barns, and we'll shuttle you in on the short school buses provided by Northwood High School, Wanee Community Schools. And we have shuttles if you park at Nappanee Elementary. We have a St. Jude shuttle that's running. Out at the airport on Saturday, we'll run shuttles because we have Wings and Wheels show. We have a flyover at 10:30. Then EEA is giving free flights to kids from 8 to 17 that have never flown before. We also have helicopter rides available. So there's lots of places you can park, and there's things going on. And even at the barns, Power Through the Past is having a garden tractor pull and an antique tractor pull.
Nice. So there really is so much going on. I know that a lot of volunteers put in a lot of work over the year to make it happen. I know as soon as it's finished, you probably take about 5 days off and then go at it again for the next year. So
the core committee, yes, they start right in again on it in October.
All right. Well, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I don't see why you won't. And thank you for all the effort that you put in. We got to get people out and about. It's part of what we're doing on this show. You know,
yes.
I know COVID kept a lot of people at home, but including myself, we're all guilty of, we all got a little bit lazier, I think. So we need to get people out and about and enjoy the beautiful city of Nappanee, or I like to call it a town. But yeah, I really hope that you have a great weekend, and I hope people go along.
Thank you very much. Come on out. We'll be happy to serve you.
Well, that's it for today's show. Thank you so much for being with us. We love getting out and exploring Michiana, and we hope that you do too. And remember, while you're out, take a picture, post about it, use the hashtag Experience Michiana so we know what your Michiana is like, and maybe we can share it here on the show too. Well, have a great weekend, everybody, and until next time, we'll see you.
Experience Michiana is made possible in part by the Community Foundation of St. Joseph County and the Indiana Arts Commission, which receives support from the state of Indiana and the National Endowment for the Arts.
This WNIT local production has been made possible in part by viewers like you. Thank you.